Hey guys, welcome back. Today's the day I'm going to build our addition to our oil containment here. I've mentioned this a lot in previous videos that I'm going to be putting fuel treatment, 80, 90, 30 weight, 50 weight oil in here, but it's got to be assembled. I ordered it all as a kit, so it comes with a stand. I got to put the legs in the stand. It's got a tray, drip tray. This is a custom made system that we have here, but this all comes as a kit. That came with a kit too, but we wanted it higher and more storage here. Different situation. So we are gonna unbox this and start putting legs on and valves and clean. I gotta move this oil rack. I'm not sure where I'm gonna store this, but I want the rack to be here, separated from our engine lubes and hydraulic, just so if you would get too many valves over here if I was to stack it. Also, there's weight limits on how high you can go on these things. All right, I got a good start on it. On the base, I got all the valves put on. So then you run a hose from here to the next tank, to the next, and so on, just like the ones back there. I put the 80 gallon down on the bottom just because I think we're gonna go through more of this. You know, it's an easier working height for tipping 55 gallon drums is what we're gonna get fuel treatment into here. And then the 30 weights, smaller, lighter, easier to work with above your head. So I think that'll work out really nice. I gotta move it over there. I'm done for the day, so I'll check in with you guys on Monday when I finish this project. I power washed the tanks. They got some road grime on from being in the reefer van during delivery, but yeah, it's gonna be very nice, very slick. So I will see you guys Monday morning. Hello, we're back. But everyone's so enthused that it's Monday morning. Come on, boys, a little more excited. So we got the tanks installed. I still got to run the hoses to each, but we're laying this out the way we want. We pushed everything down so we can have our shelf here with our buckets and pail pumps and just storage in general. So it's coming along together real nice. They put it together when I wasn't around, so it was easy. Just put a fitting in there and then a hose down to the valve. That's complete. I want to fill it up, but the planter's in the way. We'll do that when we move the planter around. Anyways, if you want any containment system like this, or basically like that, bigger, farmchem.com, link in the description. You can save 5% off using Larson 22. I suggest checking it out. I really like their website and all their products that they sell. I'm into a much less pleasant job here. So we seem to have a lot of trouble with these hubs going shot on the DB60. We've had 2 of them fail. I've got it jacked up right now, and there is no play, which is a good thing. But since we've been having trouble, I always take the hubs off every winter, pump grease in, visually watch the grease come out both sides, maybe more so this side because there's really no place for the grease to go in the hub cap here because it's filled. So I'm going to pump some grease in there to try to salvage the bearing, get some new grease in there, and checking for play on all of them. But so far, looks good. So I'm actually surprised with how much grease that took. I'd say probably about 200 shots actually, till it came out this side. But then I rotated it, got new grease in the bearing. Now I can put this back on and do the same routine to the rest of the 3 more. So this is one of the, I think this is the new hub that we replaced in the field, and they don't come with a grease zerk in them. So then I use a needle greaser tip to shove in there, and I don't know how effective it is, but it's the best way to get grease in there. And I know that you guys commented to drill and tap a plug, but I'm not going to do that now that it's mounted, because I don't want to put a bunch of filings inside there, and that would probably be worse than anything. So, is what it is, I guess. Grease it up, make sure it's tight and no slop, and should be good to go. Okay, I got these all done. It turns out that the inside two are the ones with the new hubs. The outside are still original, but they're still tight. The reason that the inside fail before the outside is because when you're going down the road, generally you go down the middle of the road. Well, the crown of the road puts all the planter weight on the center two, which wears the bearings out very hard on them, but it's kind of unavoidable. This township roads, you don't want to be towards the edge of the road unless you have to be to meet somebody. So the inside definitely get beat up worse. And this planter actually gets roaded a lot more full, like plump full, just because a lot of times I am by myself, so I'll fill up before I leave the field, because most of the time I can plant 3/4 of the field to a fill before I need a seed tender and maybe somebody can come and fill. So I always try to leave the field full, which is about the worst thing that you could do to it, but it improves efficiency. Right? Right.
Very nervous.
He says he's nervous.
Okay, back in February, we were hauling a ton of corn off the site, and we noticed that the rear hopper on our 2013 Timpty, the hydraulic cylinders were leaking. So we did take the one off. You guys maybe saw that. That's been rebuilt. Obviously, you get to the elevator, they don't want hydraulic oil dripping down into their pits where the corn is supposed to go in clean. So Brody and I pulled the other cylinder off. He's got that out on the bench, and we've got the parts to rebuild that ourselves. This is original with the trailer, I believe, so it is almost 10 years old, these cylinders. I wonder how many times they went back and forth before that was an issue. So you guys maybe see that we put these hydraulic traps on our trailers. We actually got another kit that's going to go on one of our third trailers. That'll be 3 total. We've got a kit, another hydraulic kit to put on another trailer. Then we'll have 3 total. Overall, we haven't had a ton of issues. They're fairly simple to install. It all kind of goes under the belly of the trailer. It's got its own little hydraulic reservoir. It's ran electrically through where you'd hook up in the front of the trailer. We just tie it into that. But yeah, like you guys have seen, that's all the components, and it all gets ran right here. Obviously, in the fall when you're unloading 60 loads a day, our drivers prefer, if they don't have to crank the traps open, it definitely just takes any fatigue out when you're working 20-hour days. That helps. So that's why we're going to put it on another trailer when we get a chance here. But for now, fixing this leak. Let's try the handy dandy pliers. Okay, so this here rod come out of the cylinder. This is what I would call the back seal. And these threads have O-rings in them, which would be the front seal. We're going to get technical. So Doug, he did all the purchasing or ordering, got a bunch of new seals that we're going to put on. They said 2 years they made these hydraulic cylinders that are unique to the rest of the years, so you can't really, you either got to buy new or replace the O-rings. There's not the simple fix of just threading off the parts we did and putting those back on. So we're trying this. Who rebuilt the other one?
Some hydraulic shop.
Yeah, so we're going to be the hydraulic shop today. But this O-ring is torn.
Junk. So are these the ones where the actual O-ring is facing towards the front of the semi that gets all the crap?
Yeah, it would be.
So that's why the front trap is facing back and not getting ate up as bad.
Very true.
So
Tempty. No, that's the way it has to be so that the traps can open, because there's such thing as rear axles that are in the way. So on the end of the rod is this tapered metal piece that has kind of the brass colored seal on there. Underneath that is an O-ring. To put this new seal on, you obviously have to stretch it some to get it over the metal bushing. I was told once you do that, take a hose clamp, wrap this brass colored seal with plastic or something so you don't scar it, and tighten that hose clamp on there so that you compress it again back to the size it's supposed to be. And it worked perfectly. So something to know if you're ever working on a Timpty hydraulic trap cylinder or anything else that might take this. Great idea. Okay, we're back here. Got the cylinder, Brody put it back together with new O-rings. Something we were talking about earlier. You guys are maybe familiar with this, but on a hopper trailer, the front hopper, the gate will slide to the rear. So that's why these hydraulic cylinders are doing a lot better than on the rear hopper, where the gate slides forward and it's catching all that rocks and dust and dirt from the semi wheels. It's catching it right on the front where that first seal is, versus the back of the hydraulic cylinder is obviously sealed up. It's one piece, it's metal. So these two are the issue, the problem childs, but I think we got them fixed. Let's put it back on. I don't know if you guys can see, but the bearings right here, the bearings that the hopper trap slides on come off when you're pulling the cylinder off. It's the same bolt. So since we took these all off, spun the bearings, 3 out of 4 of them were junk. The 4th one didn't sound the greatest, so we are going to replace all the bearings. Hey Brody.
What?
I was somewhat smarter this time and I hooked up the hydraulic hoses before I tightened everything down.
That's a smart decision.
I did have to crack the 190 loose to get our plastic cap off, but otherwise...
So we have the hard part left?
Yeah. I gotta get these bearings, one more bearing on, tighten up all 4 mounting bolts, and then we put the actual nut on the end of the rod and this project's done. Except for bleeding the system, I suppose. So right now we are running it to get the air out of the system. Now, how did we do that? Do we have to crack a line to get the air out, or does it go up to the reservoir?
Normally you gotta crack it.
That's what I was thinking too.
We're gonna have a mess though.
You're already over. It'll be fine. We'll sweep it up. We got to do this. Got to do it. Got to have it tip-top shape when it comes time to haul corn. So just keep running it.
Why do we struggle so hard, guys?
What's this wee business? Why is it bent? Unbelievable. Well, you know, you learn how to.
the one that started.
You learn how to do something really good after you go through it all the wrong ways.
Oh my.
So Brody's got it, the trap open now, which Really makes it easily accessible to get to that bolt that we were using a crow's foot.
Not the right size, and
Yeah.
1 inch, and it's 15,
You guys know what these are? You put them on a socket and you can get in there at a weird angle. Incorrect size. Well, we're ready to go for the next time we have to do this. I think those are pinned in over there, which would really be nice.
Yeah.
But this is the older style. Okay, bleed the system.
Yep.
Well, I think we'll do that a couple more times, but I can hear the bubbles coming up into the reservoir I showed you guys earlier, so this is going to work just fine. And if we're doing it incorrect,
Then we are.
let us know. Okay, system's been bled. There are no leaks for now, right, Brody?
Right?
For all of your Timpty hopper bottom questions and concerns, please voice them to Brody, because I was guessing my way through this, but I think we're good for now. This trailer, otherwise we went through this trailer. I think it is ready. It's, yeah. Okay, on to the next.
All right, I pulled the planter ahead. We're gonna test out this new thing. This is supposed to be a 30 weight and 30 gallon drum and 55 gallon drum flipper tipper thing. So you, well, I've never used it, so we'll see how it works, but drive your forklift up to it. It goes on your forks. You tighten it down so it don't fall off. Pull up to your 55 gallon drum or 30 gallon drum, put the chain around it, strap it nice and tight. Then you can tip this over, and it's a lot less effort and a lot safer. So we'll see how this works. So I would say it's definitely designed better for a 55 gallon drum, but it does work. Should maybe read the book. Brody had it somewhere. Basically, what I did is I actually spun this thing so it was open part not open, lifted this loop over the top of it so that it would actually sit lower. It's quite a complex unit here, but this will work good. Now I'm going to screw my hose into here for going into the tank, and then I can do this. And tip it out. So that works quite well off in the ground. And it's got plenty of chain here. I can adjust this how I want. 80-90 weight is going to take a heck of a long time to gravity flow into there. She's going though. Okay, last and final one. This is fuel treatment. This is what when we get tanker loads of fuel, we measure it up into gallon jugs to the right proportion to blend in with the load. We're gonna have that in a container also for easier filling, because actually the fuel treatment eats the pumps up, so it'd be better to have gravity flow. It stinks really bad though, terrible. And it's really runny. Like, look at that go. Flows really nice. So we're bringing the quad track number 2 back into the shop, because we walked by it the other day in the shed, ended up that some hydraulic hose crimp is starting to leak on it. That's more than a start, it's pretty bad. So we're gonna get it in here, pull that hydraulic hose out, and replace it. So right here is the fitting that is leaking something horrible. It's a Parker hose air. If you think your crimping skills is good enough, just cut the end off.
Yeah, why not?
Well,
Well, now that we got the right disc,
Yeah, we found out that the
should
disc
help.
that we were using to crimp was not the right thickness, so we weren't crimping our hoses all the way. Which, by the way, we should go back over to the land roller then and re-crimp those hoses so that the whoosh problem doesn't
occur.
happen.
Yeah, we'll get on that right after spring.
So they cut the old end off, and we're gonna put a new one on. I have a fitting upstairs in the hose maker. This is the nice part about owning a portable hose maker, is you can not have to take the hose completely out of the tractor. And hopefully this fixes it. Case is on the hunt for the big 1 1/4 inch line, same issue, but we do not build 1 1/4 lines. And there's some really fancy ends. It probably will be an ordered part, I'm assuming. It looks expensive too.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it looks good, boys. She looks good. Doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
That looks good, boys.
Does it?
Here,
Yeah, it looks excellent. Looks a heck of a lot better than they used to. Well, they didn't look like they were crimped all the way before, which would make perfect sense. All right, so this hose here is the one that needs to be replaced next. I gotta go to town and get that, but I think that'll be for another video. This looks kind of buried. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next time.